Hey, coming in hot with another little unedited video slash rant. This one's pretty interesting. What the fuck's up with checks? Am I right? Yeah, try a little bit on you here, cause tonight was pretty fucking interesting, and I'm just kind of upset, and I'd like to get this off my chest, right? So, I don't, as a rule, accept checks for my comics. I only accept cash for my comics. Like, if you look up Nicholas Comics on Google, basically every box I've just ticked off, no Visa, no MasterCard, no American Express, no Chase, no this or that, and Discover, whatever. All the credit cards off, all the checks off. Even so, I often get, like, requests on Google. In fact, these are the only messages I get via Google Business. Hey, do you buy comic books? And I have to be like, no, I'm not a comic book store. I don't sell comic books that aren't my own. I only sell my own comic books through a mail order catalog where you send me money and then I send you a comic in the mail. I'm not a comic book store. I have to kind of clarify that because a lot of people don't know what a mail order comics catalog is. And, I don't accept checks as a rule because checks are fucking inconvenient. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Checks are just like the stupidest possible form of currency. Unlike PayPal and Venmo, where it's like the illusion of convenience, even though it's not more convenient. Because this is the harsh truth, right? The most convenient economic system is just fiat currency. Just, paying for goods and services with fucking paper money and then getting paid with fucking paper money. That's the most efficient possible system. I know a lot of people like the gold standard. Oh, Nixon repealed the gold standard. Gold is a human construct too. We invent gold's value. It's just a shiny ass metal. It doesn't really carry any inherent value. So, like, us being on the gold standard didn't matter. I actually really like the fact that, fiat currency just has like a loosely defined sort of, wishy-washy value, kind of changes over the years. But it makes perfect fucking sense because with money you can just buy shit and sell shit, and it makes complete sense. Like I've never had a problem with using fiat currency. Checks are the stupidest fucking idea. They're so absurdly inconvenient. They're just a middleman, just like credit cards and debit cards. I mean, credit cards are the fucking worst because they just literally accumulate debt. That's their only function, just to mass up a fuck ton of debt. And that's why America is in a shit ton of debt, because we promote credit cards so much. And we're like, why do we have such a huge national debt? Well, maybe it's because we have a bunch of fucking commercials for debt all day, and we just, debt, just stacking it up. But that's a rant for another day. Checks aren't as bad because you can't spend more than you have, like with a credit card. But what's really lousy about them is, like, who the fuck needs this? Who needs one form of paper to substitute for another type of paper? Like, who wants a piece of paper that you can't use to buy anything and you have to take down to the bank or fucking grocery store or wherever just to fucking use or, like, trade for this other type of paper money? Like, what the fuck is this shit? What a pointless mechanism. Who thought this was a good idea? And this all goes back to Alexander Hamilton, and I can't stand that fucking play. Because, before Alexander Hamilton, everyone's favorite founding father would be like Benjamin Franklin, who was fucking awesome because he, was a writer and shit and actually contributed to the civic arts and humanities. And here comes Hamilton. Oh, whoopee, he founds the National Bank or whatever. And it's like, what a pointless, useless function for a founding father to serve. And everyone's like, oh, Hamilton was never properly appreciated before the musical. And it's like, no, he was given about as much credit as he deserves. He built a fucking bank. Whoop-de-fucking-do. He wasn't the first president or anything. Honestly, I don't care at all that he was killed in that duel with Aaron Burr. I think Aaron Burr is a fucking national hero. Hamilton sounds like an annoying little dipshit. Anyway, point being, I don't like Hamilton because all he ever did was just found a stupid bank. And here's the secret. I don't use a bank. I don't use a bank account. This is my bank here. I put all my money in this pill bottle because you know what a bank is? It's a glorified box. That's all it is. They just take your money, they put it back in a big room with, you know, a vault and a bunch of locked boxes, and that's all a bank is. And it's like, why would I trust a third party to do that? I can just put my money in a box and then bury that in the backyard or wherever, way safer, because I know where it is and it can't burn down or whatever. And I know there's the FDIC and all that shit. But like, seriously, that's all a bank is. It's just a glorified box. What a nonsense business. What a business that doesn't need to exist. You know, and even their slogans say, like, we don't need to exist, like fucking Chase. You know, make more of what's yours is their slogan. And it's like, well, if it's mine, why the fuck can't I just use it to my maximum potential already? So anyway, I as a rule only use fiat currency. That's the only economic system that makes any sort of feasible sense to me. So tonight, I wanted to go to a fucking concert. It's like $15, you know, pretty standard price for a concert. And I love going to concerts. I love spending money on concerts because I like supporting local artists, right? But I got a check. And, you know, much like anything, I'm generally uninhibited. Like, I'll try something. If I think I don't like something, I'll give it a try just to say, you know, this isn't for me. If it's not for me, I won't try it again. If it is for me, if I like it, if it's a satisfactory experience, I will try it again. So I accepted a check, and I was like, oh wow, you know, I'm gonna use this, and it was for like $25. Oh wow, I'll have $25. So I tried not to be too negative. I tried to put on a happy face and go, you know, this is inconvenient for me, and I have to go to the store beforehand to cash this fucker, but at least I'll have $25 for my trouble, right? I'll be putting in time and effort to cash this stupid, convoluted system of payment, this substitution for paper that's also paper for no fucking reason. But at least I'll get some money out of it, like something that's actually valuable, like fiat currency instead of this stupid fucking check, right? So I get to Safeway on Broadway. The security guard's an asshole. I come in the front, and he's like, you need to leave. And I have no idea what for. I was just walking in. But I imagine, you know, just holding a check looks fucking suspicious. You know, it's just a suspicious behavior to hold a check. So I was like, I just have to cash this check. And he's like, go over to the money station, right? And there's this old crone, and she's like, we don't cash checks. Go down to Walmart in Inglewood. And I'm like, what the fuck? You don't cash checks? Well, goddamn, you know, I sure as fuck don't need you. I mean, what are you even here for? You know? And so, you know, I go all the way down. I take like half an hour down the bus on Broadway, you know, because I don't have a car, so I have to use the bus everywhere. So when you take the bus places, it takes like, you know, an hour or so to get to the new place. So you have to take that into account. So I get to the Walmart in Inglewood. I go in the front, and I walk up to the fucking money center, is what they call it. I'm like, hi, I want to cash this check. And they're like, oh, sorry, the money center is closed. It's open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And it's like, that's funny and all, but you know what money center doesn't close at 8 p.m.? The fucking American economy. The American economy runs all night, and, you know, if like fucking 911 ran itself like this, oh, sorry, we close at 8 p.m., you think society would be doing so hot, right? So I just can't take checks seriously because they're a system run by clowns, like a money center where you go, what, to center your money? Like, why don't I just have fucking money, right? So it's just like stupid. So at this point, I was so fed up, and, you know, there was no possible way that I can get the fucking $25 and go see this fucking concert, and my night's fucking ruined. I just ripped the fucker up and threw it in the trash can out front. Because literally, that money is of no use to me. It's useless. It's not real money. It's just a check. What a useless, pointless, stupid mechanism. And, you know, this is probably just my autism. The same way, you know, in a previous video I mentioned how I don't use fucking airports because they're unpleasant. Same reason I don't use banks. I try and avoid dealing with middlemen and fucking pencil pushers as much as possible. I don't use banks. I don't go through the airport. I don't have a car. You know, I avoid a lot of the tedium of modern life, and it does inconvenience me some, as was the case tonight. But on the other hand, I'm much freer than the average person because I don't have to deal with any of this shit. And I just say, you know, tough titty. I don't have time for this nonsense. And some people probably see, you know, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. is the optimal time. Oh, wow, if you just manage your time better or woke up earlier, then it'd be a breeze to swing by Walmart and take 2 hours on the bus all the way down to fucking Inglewood because for whatever reason the Safeway doesn't cash them. But, you know, I wake up at like 2 p.m. on average and go to sleep at like 4 a.m. So I don't have any time whatsoever to mess around going down all the way down Broadway for 2 fucking hours just to get $25. Like, it's not that big a deal. And I'm just not going to accept checks anymore because, you know, I didn't to begin with. I started my mail-order comics empire with the intention of just not fucking using checks or debit cards or anything because that's all stupid. And, you know, I feel pretty strongly about this. I think checks are stupid. I think they're a waste of time. And I just get paid by money. And, you know, I try and cut out middlemen as much as possible. The only one I put up with is the United States Postal Service, because from everything I can tell, they're completely reliable and dependable, and they fucking work, and they don't fuck you around. You know, and they're closed on Sundays and shit, but I don't fucking mind, because the rest of the week they work really well. They work way more efficiently than fucking Walmart, the clown corporation that stops you from cashing checks at 8 p.m. Like, you know, and this wouldn't be a problem if I just had cash. So, if you want one of my comics, you write to Nicholas Cicada, 1424 Columbine Street, number 1, Denver, Colorado, 80206. This video is brought to you by Nicholas Comics. And get some of those sweet comics, but do not send a check. I mean, if you do, I might send you a comic anyway just to be fucking nice, but please don't, because, you know, if you want to actually compensate me for my labor and pay me, then, you know, send me a fucking money. I have no use for checks or any of that nonsense. Anyway, you know, point being, I deal with people like this all the time. It's like I'm at you know, a fucking convention, right? And I'm at my table and I'm having a great time. Some bozo comes up. He's like, "Yo, oh wow, this comic looks so fun. Wow, this comic looks great." You know, he starts stacking them up like 5 comics, and I go, "Oh wow, you know, this guy really appreciates art. I'm gonna get paid here. I'm gonna get compensated for my labor." But then he's like, "Oh, you got Venmo?" And I'm like, "Fuck no. The Peter Thiel Minchus Moldbug app? No, thank you. I use fiat currency." And he's like, "Oh, darn, I don't have any of that." And I'm like, "You go to a fucking comics convention and you don't bring money? Like, what? You think just everyone has Venmo?" And I know a lot of people do, but surely you can't just blindly assume that everyone does, because people have different preferences and standards. You do well to at least carry like $5, right? I'm sure a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, you know, checks are more convenient." And it's like, no, there's no possible way that exchanging one form of paper for another form of paper that you can use to buy things, and you can't use the first type of paper to buy things. There's no universe in which that's a convenient, efficient system that works to everyone's benefit. It's obtuse, it's needlessly convoluted, it just puts everyone at an inconvenience. I don't know who the hell thinks this is a functional system. And I honestly have no idea who, like, comes up with these financial mechanisms, because they're so ridiculously pointless. And as the thing is, you know, I value my time, and in all honesty, if I can't just use my money when I have a check that supposedly is worth this much money, if I can't get that fucking money, then, you know, I don't fucking need it anymore. Like, if there's a thing I gotta get to, like a pending thing in 1 hour that's only available for that hour, then a Walmart money center that's closed is worth piss all to me. And, you know, I just can't use that fucking money, so I don't need the fucking money anymore. So I just threw it away, because I'm like, you know, if I can't have my money when I need it, when it's time, then it's of literally zero use to me. There's nothing inherently convenient about checks. They're just designed to present the facade of convenience, but actually they're complicated and meaningless and dumb. Yeah, fact of the matter is, I just don't like PayPal or Venmo. I think they're pretty crap compared to just sending money via the mail. And it's all down to personal preference, but really, it's as innocuous as preferring, like, Burger King over McDonald's. I just like the USPS more than PayPal. I think it's a more efficient courier of goods and services and shit, and I trust it more. So, yeah. I don't use Venmo, I don't use PayPal, I don't accept credit cards, I don't accept checks. Really, I should have just always made that a hardline rule that I don't like checks, because they're just a waste of time, and I don't have the time to go down to fucking Inglewood just to get 25 measly dollars. You know, I don't care that much about $25. And you might be saying, oh, you know, you threw $25 away. And it's like, no, I threw a check for $25 away. I'll just go back into whoever's bank account. The point being, I give away my comics for free so often. Like, I learned a long time ago to stop valuing my labor, expecting me to be compensated fairly for it, because it's not like society does that for artists anyway. So, you know, I mean, I give away a shit ton of comics for free in an average month. Just because, you know, the world needs fucking culture, and I'm all too happy to give my comics away for free if people aren't willing to pay for them. But the last thing I need is to go on a wild goose chase for some fucking checks. And this is stupid. And a lot of people say, oh, well, with checks, there's a record. Oh, boy. You know? And I don't care about evading taxes or anything. I consider the payment of taxes to be a civic duty, like voting. And, you know, if the IRS ever says, oh, you know, you owe us $200 or whatever, I'll just be like, sure, here it is, in cash. Accept it. You're a federal agency. Accept your own fucking fiat currency that you endorse on a governmental level. You know, and I don't see why the IRS can't just take my word that the records I keep are accurate. You know, the FBI doesn't, you know, they take witness testimony as accurate, so the IRS should. Generally, I just think, you know, checks contribute to an atmosphere of just wanton paranoia, fucking inadequacy, crazy inefficiency. I don't know whose idea it ever fucking was to have one form of paper that you have to use to redeem another form of paper. That'd be like if you have to, like, fucking, you know, you have a coupon, but you can't use the coupon until you use the coupon. It's like, who the fuck has time for this shit? I'm a busy guy. I got a packed schedule. I don't have time to frickin' cash a check. What a waste of time. Just give me money. Just give me fucking fiat, greenback, federally approved money, please. It's all just so pointless. And yeah, I mean, checks are just dumb. I don't know who takes checks seriously. There's a bit in the funny old Harry Enfield Loads of Money song where, you know, he's like, oh, I got my wad. And I get that the Harry Enfield character is supposed to be, like, unlikable, but there's this one really funny bit where this little nerdy dweeb is like, check this out, and he holds up a big check, and then Harry Enfield's like, no, wads and dollop, bitch. And I think that's kind of funny, because, you know, I do agree, like, checks are for the extremely neurotic. They're just an extremely neurotic way to transfer money. You know what's the safest and best and most reliable way to transfer money, the way that makes the most rational sense? Take some money in your hand, give it to someone else, now they have the money. Pretty basic shit. So that's how I administer my business, and I don't like checks. I think checks are stupid. What a weird mechanism. Anyway, yeah, that's really all I had to say. Oh yeah, one other thing. A lot of people will say, oh, well, banks give you interest. Wow, banks give you interest. Well, you know what cancels out interest? Inflation. So a lot of people get a bank account, and this is really funny. They're like, oh, wow, I'm going to get rich off inflation. Wow. Or no, I'm going to get rich off interest, right? It's just going to grow and grow and grow, and I'll have, you know, exponential money. And I hate to break it to you, but that's not how it works. The bank only sets the interest rates to cancel out for inflation, and no more than that, if at all. I mean, most interest rates can't even handle inflation. Like, the dollar will still shrink no matter what. It might balance it, but that's the most, because otherwise the bank would be losing money, and they'd have to be really stupid to do that, because to begin with, they're a type of business that doesn't even fucking need to exist, because my pill bottle here serves the exact same function that the average bank does. But, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, well, the interest. And a lot of people make the counterpoint, well, you know, Nick, oh, what if you just keep your money in the pill bottle, then it doesn't have any interest, so inflation affects you more. And it's like, well, yeah, but, you know, if I store away $500 today, it'll probably be worth like $400 in the future. But that's okay, because it's still $400. That's still a decent amount of money. Inflation doesn't happen that rapidly that you'd have to, like, worry about it or take interest seriously. Interest is a fucking joke. I don't know who sees that as, like, an actual avenue towards, like, getting rich or something. It's absolutely not. And the other argument is, oh, you know, banks can help you invest in stocks. That's great if you're a New Yorker and you're right next to Wall Street and you know exactly what's going down Wall Street. I'm a Denverite, so, you know, investing in shit is like nonsense to me. None of it makes any sense because this just isn't that kind of climate. Nobody's investing in shit. There's not a fucking, you know, massive shit ton of investors and businessmen all day. You know, that's not really a thing here, so yeah, that's kind of pointless. Anyway, you know, I should hope that the stock market, you can just invest in stocks as you see fit, but, you know, I'm not an accountant or anything. Fuck it, I'm not even an economist. I'm a mail-order cartoonist. I just think banks are stupid. I don't get who the fuck keeps their money in a bank. I don't know who the heck thinks banks are necessary. It's just a box. It's just a box you put your money into. The only way that I think banks could be necessary potentially is if you lose your money really easily. Like if you're one of those absent-minded type people who, you know, misplaces your keys all the time. Oh, you have $100, but you lose it. Oh, dang, fell out of my pocket. But I make sure to have zippers all in my pockets, so I'm never losing any of my fucking money. I've never lost money until fucking tonight, when this fucking check was impossible to cash because the Walmart closes at 8 p.m. You shouldn't need a Walmart to pay for shit. You should just be able to pay for shit all day, every day, and that's what cash does, yo, because you don't need to cash it. You don't need to go, oh, here's a fucking paper for another paper. You know, what a stupid thing. I get the, you know, all money is a human construct, but, like, at the very least, make it make sense. Make it make fucking sense. Anyway, you know, just a little rant. I think checks are stupid, and don't send me any. I might just, like, hang them up on my wall as a joke or something, but I'm not going to take them seriously, because, like, they're an extremely goofy, nonsense way of like, what even is this? What a nonsense mechanism. What a useless financial mechanism. It's basically like an NFT if you think about it long enough. What is the use for this? Worse money? Money that doesn't work past 8 p.m.? Oh boy, goody. Yeah, I want me some of that. Anyway, yeah, that's all I had to say tonight. Just a little steam off my chest. Today sucked. Today sucked, and I didn't get to go see my concert. I didn't get to fucking get paid for my labor. It fucking sucks. Anyway, so I'm tired.